she says that her fifth husband she loves the most because her fifth husband is the most stingy with his love for her. And this is another one of the ideas. I don't know if it's detrimental or if it's constructive, or I don't really know if it's constructive. I also think that the scary thing about this idea is that it's accurate. People do behave this way, that we give people love who may not deserve our love because they act disinterested. And we don't ask ourselves, well, are they deserving of this? If they don't see it as a prize, we see it more of a, oh, I've got to win, I've got to convince them. The wife of Bath falls trap to this. He resists her the most and denies his love the most to her, and she in turn loves him the most. It's also interesting, the fifth husband is half of her age. He's 20 and she's 40. This is, well, we have a term today, I guess, called cougar, right? But this is not common at all to have a, I mean, it'd be very common to have, as it is even today still, to have an older man date or marry a younger woman. But it wouldn't be as common at all to have an older woman marry a younger man. And another thing that's different about the fifth husband, other than age, is he doesn't have any money. He's a scholar. He's not bringing any wealth. The only thing he's bringing into the marriage is passion, is sex. And she likes that. She enjoys having sex with her fifth husband, but she doesn't get that purse. In fact, her marriage to the fifth husband, she has to sacrifice all the purses that she's earned in her previous 4 marriages. They become his. And it's not until the fight that the two have, the physical fight, like punching each other, where she loses hearing in one of her ears, it's not until that she wins back control from husband number 5. She wins. We'll come back to that again. Another interesting thing, there's so many interesting things, the trickery that she seems to show. She says she learned the trickery from her mother in line 580. This reinforces another kind of negative stereotype that women get together behind closed doors and tell all the secrets of how to manipulate men. I hope that this isn't what happens, but here this is the wife of Bath says, hey, my mom taught me everything I know about deceiving men, about trickery. And we see how good she is. We don't know if this is something that's gotten better with generation and generation. Think about if her mother was even better than her. There's a little discussion as far as the wife of Bath embraces who she is. She sees the fault in it, but she embraces it anyway because it goes back to victimization. She's a victim of the passions that the gods have put upon her based on their astrological positions of the planets. She says, I followed always my own inclination by virtue of my natal constellation. And then she goes through and says what each constellation, what each planet, what each god, the trait that it gave her. Venus, though, is very influential in her life. Let's talk about the fifth husband because he's so important to her. The fifth husband keeps a book, which he's a scholar. He keeps a book, and the book he reads nightly is the chronicle of the historical, all the bad women in history. And it really bothers her, as it should, that he reads all these examples of evil wives and the evils that they commit to. He reads them to her every night out loud. She rips out 3 pages, there's that magic number 3, and doing so makes him so angry that he hits her, and she in turn hits him back. This goes back to a very, very dangerous but accurate portrait of lust. This is, well, the fifth relationship is one purely grounded on lust, as far as the wife of Bath is looking at it. And it's very, very volatile, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the wife of Bath doesn't enjoy it. And this is scary. It goes back to it's scary because we find it's accurate to today still. There are relationships that are very volatile, that are physically, emotionally abusive, but people stay in it not just out of victimization, but because they enjoy the relationship. They enjoy the passion. There's a very fine line between abuse and passion. Think about in Hollywood, I've seen some movies, some I guess passion scenes, kissing scenes, romance scenes that are borderline, sometimes overtly aggressive, physically, sexually. Um, um, it's a very, very dangerous line to blur for our society. Yet here it does show that it's a blurred line as far as the attraction that passion slash um, aggression, sexual aggression can have to some people. Ultimately, she's victorious over her fifth husband, but that's after he hits her, and she hits him back, and they kind of have it out. And ultimately, he says, "Look, hey," he returns everything that she'd given to him. The lands and everything are back in her control, but there was a cost. I want to talk just a few things about the tale that she actually tells that kind of talk about her character. Um, Notice that Arthur, in Once the Knight who rapes the woman, is brought to trial. Arthur gives the decision of what to do to his queen, and this reinforces the whole message the of the story. Arthur knows already what women want. He's like, hey, wife, queen, do whatever you deem fit, and I'll follow it. There's a part in here where he's looking for all the different answers, or he's looking for the answer, and he's given all this list of different answers of what women want. And there's one that's almost the answer, but not. And that's the answer of flattery, that women want to be flattered. And it's interesting because the wife of Bath, as she tells the tale, Allison, admits that this is very close to the number one, but not quite. Let's talk a little bit about the old woman in here. We know that the old woman ultimately turns out to be a young, beautiful woman, but I think, though, there's some psychology of the wife of Bath. We see in the story that she tells, the woman talks to the knight who, after they're married, after the wedding day, the knight is not happy at all. And the old woman at the time, the old woman says, look, why? What have I done to you? I haven't done anything to you. There's no reason for you to act this way. And the knight's like, oh, you're just old and you're ugly, and I don't want to be married to an old, ugly woman. And she says, look, she says, if in age there is chastity, I'm not going to cheat on you. You don't have to worry about me going out and being unfaithful with you. I'll be true to you. I'll be good to you. If I am young and beautiful, I won't be true to you. I'll go out and cheat on you. So which would you rather have? She gives him the choice. You can either have me be young and cheat on you and be mean to you, manipulate you, or you can have me be old and be faithful to you and serve you and not do you wrong. I think this shows the two different roles that the wife of Bath has occupied in her youth. She's been, as the old woman describes youth to be here. She's looking back at this with wisdom now. As far as her youth, this is the role she occupied. Now, the wife of Bath, in fact, there's a passage, kind of sad, she reflects on her age now, and her physical condition is deteriorated, but she seems to be, the old woman of the tale has a power that the wife does not have. The wife can't occupy both roles. She can't get her youth back, as well as the wisdom she's gained through her 5 marriages. She can't have both. And I think it's interesting here that the old woman character that she puts in the tale is able to have a synthesis of both. You get the best qualities of youth, beauty, and you get the best qualities of wisdom, experience, faithfulness, which isn't really realistically possible to the wife of Bath. I think that's all I wanted to cover with the tale, so play around on the discussion board, especially with this if you think that the wife of Bath is ultimately a character who has qualities to imitate, or ultimately a character who shows qualities we should try to get rid of.